The Knicks' chances of winning the NBA Finals are absolutely legit. They're far more real than anybody would have expected at the start of the NBA playoffs. After going down 2-1 to the Atlanta Hawks, this Knicks team has rattled off 11 straight wins. And they're not just scrapping their way to victories and winning close games and just barely surviving series in order to get to the finals. They're dominating every single team that has been in their path. And that should be the starting point of this conversation. How legit are the Knicks' chances of winning the NBA Finals? There are so many reasons, after what we have watched through the course of the playoffs over the last two series, and again, since going down 2-1 to the Hawks, to buy in to the way that the Knicks are playing right now. There are so many different accolades and accomplishments that this team has put up over the course of the playoffs that I had to sit here. It took me a long amount of time while I was doing my notes that I had to start taking stuff out. Otherwise, I would have just been reading stats the entire time. But I do have quite a few that I want to lean into, that I want to bring up. They have, in their closeout games, won by the following totals: 51, 30, 37. That is an absurd stretch. In closeout games, everything on the line, opponents' backs against the wall, they have completely gone full speed and blew past all three of those teams. They are averaging their margin of victory in those games 39.3 points. That is the greatest margin in NBA history. They're doing this all while their star player, Jalen Brunson, has not played in the fourth quarter in any of those clinching games. They're doing it without Brunson, mostly backups, winning by that much. They also have 3 road playoff games in which they won by 30 plus points. Again, this is why the Knicks do have a absolutely legitimate chance to either beat the Thunder or the Spurs, because they're not just barely getting by. They're not just doing the little things and just enough to survive. They're smoking everyone. They're shooting at an unbelievable clip. And it's not just Jalen Brunson. Mikal Bridges is on a historic stretch. Karl-Anthony Towns has played the best that I've ever seen. He's putting his body on the line. His energy that he has down in the post is something that he has needed to provide, and he is now doing it. OG Anunoby's making tons of big plays. Landry Shamet off the bench is shooting at an unbelievable clip as well. The Knicks are doing everything that they need to that they haven't had in the past. They are consistent, they are building momentum, and they are deep right now. And it's crazy to consider that back last offseason, when they fired Tibbs, and I was one of these people that I was stunned by it. I thought it was stupid to fire Tibbs and to hire Mike Brown. And you know what? Mike Brown is going to end up being one of the better coaching stories, maybe in NBA, actually no, in NBA history, not maybe in NBA history, in NBA history. To have been doubted by most Knicks fans and then also be a cast-off for multiple franchises to now take a team to the finals with a chance to win the NBA Finals. A couple other stats that I want to point out here. This Knicks team has a point differential of 271 points in their 14 games. That is the highest scoring margin by any team entering the NBA Finals, and the highest in a 14-game playoff stretch all time. During their 11-game winning streak, and this is where a good historical reference, actually a great historical reference, for why the Knicks can absolutely win the finals. The only other teams to have won 11-plus games in a row include all teams that have won championships. The 2017 Warriors, 2016 Cavs, 1988 Lakers, 2000 Lakers, 1999 Spurs, 1999 Spurs, and 1989 Pistons. That past success and the dominance that the Knicks are playing at is a major reason for proof why it's not just whoever wins the West. That is a narrative that legitimately was one that made sense at the beginning of the playoffs. Nobody saw this coming. Again, the Knicks were down 2-1 to the Hawks. They were down. I think a lot of Knicks fans, including myself, were thinking, oh, great, here we go again. At the beginning of the playoffs, it absolutely was totally clear that whoever won the Western Conference Finals was just, they were going to go on and win the finals. The battle that's happening right now between the Spurs and the Thunder was a predicted one, and it was going to be one that was going to be so drawn out that the survivor of it was going to play whichever chud was waiting on the other side in the Eastern Conference Finals. But that's not true. And if anything, I think that this is very key. We're watching them cannibalize one another. We're watching them completely tear each other apart. In the theoretical world, if the Thunder and the Spurs go to a 7-game series, it goes all the way to 7. The winner moves on. The Knicks will have back-to-back series where they have had time to take off and relax and to rejuvenate themselves, and also to rest themselves after the fact that most of the starters are not playing in the fourth quarter. And they'll know how to better respond so they don't start slow like they did against the Cavs. And you will have a gassed team no matter who survives. Now, I personally think it's going to be the Thunder. I think that even though Wemby, in the 2 wins that they've had, has played at a insane level, absolutely insane level, that they just lack the depth to be able to outlast, and the experience to outlast the Thunder. They don't have that. They're too young of a team. I would also argue that I'd be fearful of having to deal with Wemby in a finals situation. That would be a brutal matchup, trying to figure out how to slow him down. Karl-Anthony Towns' hands would absolutely be full. Mitchell Robinson's hands would be full trying to figure out how to slow down Wemby. But I do really think that even though the Thunder have been built up to be this unstoppable entity, they've shown signs of weakness. But most importantly, I think that they would be a good matchup for the Knicks. I think the Knicks, by the fact that last year, when the Thunder won, goes all the way to the full stretch with the Pacers, who are not anywhere near as deep as this Knicks team. Tyrese Halliburton is not the same level of high impact scorer as Jalen Brunson. Nor were the Pacers anywhere close to this level of explosive and dominant as the way that the Knicks are playing right now. I think that if this version of the Knicks shows up in the NBA Finals, they can absolutely win. It probably would be a 7-game series, but absolutely could win a 7-game series. It is absolutely plausible. Do me a favor, everybody. Comment below. Do you think that the Knicks can get it done? Hit the like button on this video and subscribe. We'll catch you later.